A phantom stalks the halls of PseudoPod towers. A phantom made of terror, disconcertingness, and really scary things. That phantom is PseudoPod. That phantom is here. Now.
PseudoPod, episode 737 for December 25th, 2020. Workday, by Kurt Fauver. I'm Alex, co-editor of PseudoPod, your host this week. We wish you the happiest of holidays and a Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. I can't say that I entirely missed the cancellation of all the work holiday parties in this lost year, particularly considering today's seasonal treat from Kurt Fauver. Kurt is a Shirley Jackson Award-winning writer of horror, weird fiction, and literature that oozes through the cracks of genre. His stories have been previously published in venues such as Nightmare, the magazine of fantasy and science fiction, Weird Tales, Vasterian, Best New Horror, and Year's Best Weird Fiction. His short story collections include Forever in Pieces, The Dissolution of Small Worlds, and the forthcoming We Are Happy, We Are Doomed. He lives in Northeast Ohio and teaches college courses in writing. The story first appeared in Shadows and Tall Trees 8, which was published by Undertow in March 2020. We're happy that we could have a holiday story and close out our anthology and collection showcase with the same story. This is a full cast story featuring the talents of a horde of PseudoPod staff members. Thank you to Karen, Tim, Scott, Chelsea, Graham, Kaz, Brian, Kay, and Kitty. Check the show notes for full details. Now, we have a story for you, and in the true spirit of Christmas, sacrifices must be made to keep the economy open. So we promise you, it's true. Memo. Corrivdon Incorporated. 2. All hourly employees. From Human Resources. Subject: Holiday Party Attendance. Date: November 20th, 2018.
Please RSVP to the holiday party by Friday afternoon. The event will be held the evening of December 21st. Our caterers need an exact count of the number of people attending so that we don't run out of food and refreshments. We will have a buffet-style meal and an open bar throughout the night. Please remember also that attendance at the holiday party is mandatory for all employees. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Message scrawled in permanent marker in the unisex restroom on the 12th floor of the Corrivdan building. Found November 20th, 2018. Painted over November 21st, 2018.
Do not attend the holiday party. You are all in grave danger. By working at Corrivdan Inc., you've put yourself in the sights of a monster. Stay away from the party. Your life depends on it.
Memo. Corrivdan Incorporated. 2. All hourly employees. From Jonathan Chadwick, Executive VP. Subject: Holiday Party. Date: November 21st, 2018.
I want to personally invite you to this year's holiday party. 2018 has been a massive success for the company. We posted our highest earnings ever in back-to-back quarters and topped Corrivdan's best year to date. None of it would have been possible without you and your work. You're the lifeblood of the company, and you deserve to be celebrated, which was why we insist you come. On tap for the party, we have a full buffet, an open bar all night, karaoke, special prizes, and some surprise entertainment. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see all you there. And again, thanks for your continued excellence in your work.
Fragment of essay found taped to the microwave in the mailing department break room of Corrivdan Incorporated. Found November 26th, 2018.
The QO Murders, a Conspiracy of Wealth. In December of 1898, a pair of pheasant hunters stumbled upon 25 dead bodies in the forest outside the smoke-shrouded limits of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The sheer obscenity of so much unexplained death in one location would have been sufficient to make the discovery notable. But the corpses also exhibited bizarre and unexplained modifications. To wit, each of the bodies had its eyes scooped out and replaced with silver dollar coins. All the fingers of every body had been cut off and rolls of dollar bills had been stuffed into the gaping stumps. And when authorities attempted to move the deceased, they found the task nearly impossible, as the corpses weighed several times more than they should have. Ultimately, it took 4 stout men to lift each one of the bodies onto the wagons that transported them to the city, where they were examined by doctors and law enforcement officials. Autopsies revealed that the internal organs of the deceased had been entirely removed, and the remaining hollow cavities packed full of gleaming, freshly minted pennies. The back of each penny, despite its newness, bore 2 machine-cut capital letters, Q and O, that obliterated the Indian head design that adorned all pennies at the time. The amount of money stuffed into the bodies totaled exactly the same in every case, $210.21, an amount that would equal over $6,000 today. No one doubted that what had happened to these individuals must have been murder. Yet, an investigation into the crime never began. City police filed a report concerning the incident, but declined to assign any officers or detectives to collect evidence from the crime scene, identify the victims, or interview potential witnesses. Sheriffs in the outlying municipality where the bodies were found also turned a blind eye to the murders, choosing to delegate all responsibility to city officials. Newspapers, though especially hungry for audacious stories in the late 19th century, barely covered the murders, writing of them in the abstract. Reporters mentioned few of the more remarkable details about the body's mutilations and implied that the deaths were potentially self-inflicted or accidental. Editors buried any stories of the murders deep within their rags pages, well beyond the attention of casual readers. Without media attention, the murders soon became little more than hearsay. Why police or journalists seemed uninterested in investigation of the murders remains unknown, though there is some evidence that forces working behind the scenes squelched inquiry into the incident. Certain powerful and moneyed industrialists and bankers, such as J.P.
Remainder of essay missing. Page torn in mid-sentence.
Memo. Corrivton Incorporated. 2. All hourly employees. From Human Resources. Subject: Holiday Party RSVP. Date: November 27th, 2018.
This is a reminder that holiday party RSVPs are now open and can be returned by email or personally dropped off with Jalen Verner in HR. We welcome you to invite spouses, partners, and significant others, but make sure to include their names in your RSVP under Guest. The more the merrier.
Photocopied note left under windshield wipers of cars parked in the core of Dan building parking garage. Found November 28th.
They care about you as a fire cares about its kindling. The celebration is not for you, but for the act of feeding the insatiable QO. You are neither the gift giver nor the gift receiver, but the gift itself. Resign now. Do not come back tomorrow. You do not have much time.
Memo. Corrivton Incorporated. 2. All employees. From Human Resources. Subject: Holiday Party Prizes. Date: November 28th, 2018.
After several inquiries into the nature of the holiday party prizes, we've decided to give you a preview of what you could win. Included among the prize pool will be box seat tickets to this year's Super Bowl, 2 additional paid weeks of vacation time, full personal use of a company BMW or Mercedes-Benz for a year, cruise tickets to the Bahamas, personal chef service for 3 months, newest gen smartphones and smart pads, and more exciting prizes yet to be revealed. This is our biggest employee celebration in company history. Everyone will win. Attendance is mandatory, but believe us when we say you'll definitely want to be at the party.
To Corps of Dan employees. From anonymized email address. Date November 29th, 2018. Subject 1926 Baltimore Massacre.
In August of 1926, a nameless crabber checking his traps in Baltimore's Inner Harbor discovered that one of the traps had snagged on something in the bay and would barely budge. A poor man, he had no funds to replace the trap, so he worked at hauling it from the depths for hours. When he finally heaved it out of the water, he found it entangled with a length of sparkling gold cable, and that the cable led to an object beneath the surface that he'd partially dredged up. A statue of some sort, he thought, human as it was in shape and reflective as polished metal. The crabber enlisted the aid of other fishermen in the area, and together they worked to raise the statue. Once rescued from the seafloor, the nature of the object became no clearer. It was gold. That much was obvious. But if it was a statue, it was the most poorly executed statue in the history of sculpture, as the figure possessed a vaguely human form but lacked any notable features other than the letters Q and O stamped upon its chest in ornate calligraphy. Further, the gold cable that connected the crab trap to the statue extended back into the murky depths, hinting at further discoveries. The crabber notified authorities of his find, imagining it might be of historical significance, if not monetary value. When experts from local universities examined the statue, however, they realized it was not a statue at all. Rather, it was an impromptu sarcophagus, a solid gold shell poured over a human body. The revelation of a corpse within the gold tomb triggered a police response. And soon, the area of the bay where the body had been found was scoured by police and Coast Guard divers. What they uncovered beneath the waves was another 35 statuesque bodies, all bound together at their ankles like a chain gang, all bearing the QO stamp on their golden prisons. The gilded manacles and metallic shells weighed the bodies to the sea and made the recovery of the deceased difficult. But with the help of barges and cranes, authorities managed to lift the petrified dead from their watery repose within a week. After recovery, coroners and medical examiners determined that the bodies had been in the bay for less than a month. Though more accurate dating was impossible, they also found even more gold inside the airways of every corpse, which implied, horribly, that the deceased had been covered in molten metal while alive and had breathed in the scorching ooze. They agreed that the gold overlay, whether by burning or suffocation, was the cause of death for each and every person reclaimed from the bay, and that Baltimore police clearly had, therefore, a mass murder on their hands. Given that experts in precious metals estimated the total worth of the gold shells and cables to be well over $10 million, no one was brave enough to venture a guess as to who could have committed the murders. Only the ultra-wealthy had the means to pull off the crime, and no one in the Baltimore PD wanted to anger the wrong multimillionaire. Before any sort of serious criminal probe could even be launched, though, the agents from the Bureau of Investigation, the FBI's predecessor, arrived in Baltimore and asserted jurisdiction over the murders. Agents from the BOI collected all evidence in the possession of the Baltimore police and set it under a high-level security clearance, which only BOI investigators could obtain. They squelched the flow of information from the police to the news media as well, so that the murders received little public recognition. Rumors concerning the golden dead of the harbor circulated in bars and shadowed docks, but nowhere else. The massacre slouched into the realm of folklore and urban legend. People, preoccupied by their daily routines and their struggles to make a decent living, soon forgot about the golden dead and their mystery. Questions remain, though. Who committed the murders? Who were the victims? Why did the BOI step in and seal off the case from both local PD and the general public? The only detail of the incident that may provide a clue is the stamp on every gold casket, the stamp bearing the letters Q-O.
Memo. Corrivden Incorporated. To all hourly employees. From Tyler Vine, Head of Information Technology. Subject, 1926 email. Date, November 30th, 2018.
Do not open an email with the subject line 1926 Baltimore Massacre, as it contains malware that will infect your computer and the Corrivden network. If you have already opened it, please contact your supervisor so we can address the issue further and review your computer's software. I would also like to remind everyone that company email addresses should not be used for non-Corrivden business. Giving Corrivden email addresses to third parties can result in unwanted spam emails, such as the 1926 mailing, which often contain threats to the security of our network and information databases. Continued use of company email for non-company purposes can result in reduced compensation or dismissal. Thank you for your attention in this matter.
Series of professionally printed and laminated signs placed at intervals along roadway leading to Corrivden Incorporated. First seen December 2nd, 2018. All signs removed by December 4th, 2018.
At any given moment, police and the FBI have over 150,000 active missing persons cases. Inactive missing persons cases in the US number well over 600,000. Almost all missing persons come from middle and lower class backgrounds. Fewer resources are spent searching for missing persons with lower incomes. This is the reason serial killers frequently use impoverished and transitional neighborhoods as hunting grounds. Even middle-class missing persons are low-priority cases, though. When's the last time you heard about the brutal murder of a millionaire? A person without any significant wealth or fame is a no-one in this country, and their disappearance merely verifies their status. The acolytes of QO count on you to be no one. It makes your disappearance so much easier. Don't satisfy them. Don't let them come for you. Quit Corrivden now.
Memo. Corrivden Incorporated. To all hourly employees. From Marshall Everington, CEO, Corrivden Incorporated. Subject, bonuses. Date, December 3rd, 2018.
Everyone, I'm pleased to announce that we will be presenting bonus checks at the holiday party. As many of you know, we broke all our previous earning highs for the 2018 fiscal year. Revenue streams are up across every division of the company, and expenditures are at a record low. Corrivden is flourishing. Bonuses are a small way to say thank you for the part you play in the company's success. Every hourly and salaried non-executive employee will receive their bonus at the party. You are all the real currency of Corrivden, and I want you to know how much you're valued. I look forward to seeing you at the party.
Text of audio clip left as voicemail for various Corrivden Inc. employees. Voicemails created overnight, December 5th, 2018. All Corrivden company voicemail reset December 6th, 2018.
Great QO, exalted infinite hunger, father of Mammon, mother of Morlock, we call upon
you to expand our worth, our reach, and our power.
We now give you your due, knowing that these souls are but motes of dust in your limitless vault, and that your share of all things is gloriously ever expanding.
We pay you fair tribute, great QO, so that you might help us prosper and grow deep with your hunger.
We thank you for the expanses you carve within ourselves and the hoards you provide us without. Allow us to possess this world as you possess us. In your name.
QO, we ask for more. In your image. always more, always more, always more.
Memo. Carivden Incorporated. To all employees. From Allison Mendel, Acting Head, Information Technology. Subject: Renovation of voicemail system. Date: December 6th, 2018.
This message is to let you know that all voicemail was deleted last night as part of a scheduled system upgrade. You can still access your voicemail as usual and should notice no changes other than a quicker retrieval time of messages. If you need to recover any important voicemails that were purged, please see me in the IT department for approval, as Tyler has been relieved of his duties. One of our technicians will be able to restore any necessary messages. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation in this matter.
Newspaper article found encased in lucite and glued to the concrete facade of the Corifton building next to every entrance. First appeared December 10th, 2018. Construction crews removed the articles by December 11th, 2018.
Over 70 workers missing in fire. November 11, 1954. Toledo, Ohio. Overnight, the Owens manufacturing plant south of downtown burned to the ground. At the time, more than 70 second-shift employees were at work in the building. None have been located or identified yet. The plant, which produces engine parts for automobile manufacturers including Ford, Chevrolet, Mercury, and Studebaker, exploded in a blazing ball of green flames near midnight. A chemical explosion is suspected as the cause of the blaze, though fire marshals have also suggested the possibility of arson. According to eyewitnesses, the fire engulfed the plant almost instantly, and the flames remained bright green for the duration of the fire. Some bystanders claimed to see gold flecks in the flames as well. A few also claimed to hear terrified screams and, in a strange turn, raucous laughter as the plant burned. One witness said that it almost sounded like a group of people were chanting at one point, but I don't know where it was coming from, or I couldn't hear it as loud as the fire was. John Lyons, president of Owens Manufacturing, said in a statement early this morning that everyone at Owens is devastated by the tragedy. We offer our thoughts and prayers to the families of all our workers at this difficult time. Rest assured that we will do everything in our power to take care of everyone connected with the Owens community. Owens Manufacturing employs more than 2,000 workers. The second-shift employees at Owens who were at the plant last night were largely comprised of non-union laborers without life insurance or pension plans. Names of the missing have not yet been released. Losses to Owens Manufacturing and its parent company, the Quinton Owens Corporation, which owns steel manufacturing plants in Pittsburgh and Baltimore, are estimated to be over $10 million. The losses may be recouped through insurance, though. The facility was insured for a significant sum, so we're sure that we will rebuild and be back up and running soon, said Owens Vice President Paul Boyle. We won't abandon our workers and the city of Toledo.
Memo. Carivden Incorporated. To all employees. From Carlos Parilla, Head of Security. Subject: Recent vandalism. Date: December 11th, 2018.
Good day. Given the recent vandalism of Corivdan property, I want to make sure all employees are aware of the procedures for reporting suspicious activity. If you spot anyone attempting to deface or destroy company property, please do not intervene personally. Instead, take a video or picture of the person in question and call security at extension 7810. If safe to do so, remain near the scene until someone from security arrives. If you see defaced property, please note the location and manner of defacement and report it to security at the same extension. We want to ensure a safe and positive work environment, so please don't hesitate to contact us when you spot a potential act of vandalism.
Messages found printed on toilet paper rolls and paper towels in all restrooms within the Core of Dan building, December 12th, 2018. All paper products removed and replaced by December 13th, 2018.
Core of Dan Inc. began operations in 1976 as Core of Dan Holdings. Core of Dan Holdings did not fare well, and by 1983 was on the brink of bankruptcy. In 1984, 3 Core of Dan mailroom employees were killed by a workplace shooter carrying a gold-plated shotgun using shells filled with diamond buckshot. The identity of the shooter, who killed himself after the murders, remains unknown. In 1985, Core of Dan acquired SunTrust Bank and Decker & Decker Loans, consolidating under the Core of Dan Inc. title. The acquisitions made Core of Dan over $250 million at the time and led to more than $5 billion in profits in the following 30 years. In 1991, 6 Core of Dan interns went missing during a team-building exercise in the Catskills. All were presumed drowned in a rafting accident, though their bodies were never found. In 1992, Core of Dan Inc. merges with Quentin Owens Inc., formerly the Quentin Owens Corporation. By the end of the decade, the merger nets profits of over $7 billion for both entities. In 2003, Core of Dan posts record highs for yearly profits. It opens a branch office in Orlando, Florida. Following year, the Orlando building collapses due to substandard construction. 15 employees are killed in the collapse. No one can explain why the deceased show bruising on their wrists and ankles, nor can anyone explain why all the deceased are found wearing finely tailored suits stuffed with stacks of $100 bills. Core of Dan donates the found money to the families of the victims. It collects insurance payouts of over $75 million on the building. It sues the construction agency, the city of Orlando, and the state of Florida for damages. Core of Dan wins its suits and collects another $200 million in awards. The families of the deceased file similar lawsuits and also win. Their payout is less than $10 million split over all plaintiffs. In 2004, Core of Dan constructs the Core of Dan building outside Cincinnati, Ohio. It is a state-of-the-art business facility. The company again posts record profits for the year. In 2018, Core of Dan breaks $1 billion in profit for the fiscal year for the first time. QO must be paid again.
Memo. Corrivden Incorporated. 2. All employees. From Human Resources. Subject: Waste Management. Date: December 14th, 2018.
Please note that trash will not be taken out this weekend as the janitorial staff is experiencing heavy employee turnover. If a waste bin in your office or workspace is overflowing, you may dispose of its contents in the dumpsters outside the East Wing exits. We apologize for the inconvenience.
Skywriting above Core of Dan building and vicinity. Seen December 17th between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m.
You have 4 days. QO is coming. It will take its due. Quit now. Run.
Memo. Corrivden Incorporated. 2. All hourly employees. From Human Resources. Subject: Holiday Party. Date: December 18th, 2018.
A reminder that the mandatory company holiday party will be held from 7 p.m. to midnight this Friday in the Conference Center, 3rd floor, West Wing. The response to the party has been tremendous. Over 90% of you have RSVP'd, and many others have confirmed attendance verbally or by email. Needless to say, everyone at Corrivdan will be at the party for the food, drink, dancing, and prizes. And don't forget, there will be special entertainment and surprises. We can't wait to see you there.
Spray-painted message found on the halls of the Core of Dan building's parking garage, December 20th, 2018. The final line of the message ends in what may be a dark red paint spatter.
Last chance. Their kind has been around since the dawn of time. Their God has been around even longer. You can't win by sitting at their table and playing their game. Do not believe them. They control all the rules. If you stay, you are doomed to...
Memo. Corrivden Incorporated. 2. All employees. From Carlos Parilla, Head of Security. Subject: Security Incident. Date: December 20th, 2018.
Early this morning, security reported an incident in the parking garage where an armed individual was caught committing an act of vandalism. Security engaged and subdued the perpetrator with only minor injury to themselves. Police and medical personnel were called and have dealt with the situation. If you see any additional police presence in Corvdan today, please lend them your full support. Thank you for your cooperation.
Memo. Corrivden Incorporated. 2. All employees. From Marshall Everington, CEO, Corrivden Incorporated. Subject: Holiday Party. Date: December 21st, 2018.
Remember to arrive by 7 p.m. this evening for the holiday party. Enter through the West Wing entrance, as all other entrances and exits will be locked at 6. Tonight is going to be very special. I can't wait to see all of you there. Happy holidays.
Many of you will die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. A refrain repeated in stump speeches all year long as we watch the same leaders line up for their vaccination shot. Those of us who remain employed count our blessings, particularly if we're relatively sheltered from exposure. There are others who get to huff the exhalations of science deniers and COVIDiots and anti-vaxxers and the shirt cockers of masks. And those who don't want to face that retail exposure or the gig economy, as the venerated Scrooge said, if they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. The vaccine rollout can't happen quickly enough, so we can again spend time with our loved ones without this 2020 anxiety hanging over it like a cloud. Hold the ones you can close until we can all be together again. I hope you enjoyed this full cast production. It was a lot of work, but we think the final product is all the stronger for it. So far on the forums and social media, we've received really good feedback for the Anthology and Collections Showcase. If you haven't shared your reaction with us, we'd love to hear your thoughts, as we're more than likely doing this again to close out next year. As we've been doing all along, I wanted to share my thoughts on this anthology and a collection. The Shadows and Tall Trees anthology series has really come into its own. This 8th outing is exceptional. While I am tempted to use the term solid, this book is filled with ephemeral spaces and deep shadows that we feel are full of lurking fears, but can't quite confirm. Nearly all the stories in this anthology left me with a lingering sense of unease and dread. Quite recommended for all of those who like excursions into the weird. As for a collection, come see the sideshow in A Carnival of Chimeras by Stephen Woodworth. While the address for this collection is certainly located in the weird, when you peek through their windows and past their curtains, the bizarro have been invited to crash on the couch. Olvarung is a tall tale with a delightfully unhappy ending from an unreliable narrator. If you want a sample of what to expect from this book, the story is well served by the audio presentation available for free over on Podcastle. The story Voodoo is an excellent expansion of the mythos that refuses to be slavish to the source material. Voodoo is an excellent expansion of the mythos that refuses to be slavish to the source material. This picks up from the generations impacted by the most horrific segment of the Call of Cthulhu, where cultists danced in the swamp among humans that were flayed and displayed on poles like banners. The story perfectly inhabits New Orleans and shows all her grotty layers. If you love stories about New Orleans, then that alone is worth hunting this one down. The monsters are a nice bonus. The hidden track shows us an audio engineer and sound preservationist who finds an old wax cylinder for a phonograph that documents a monstrously failed seance. This brings in found documents of the spiritualist era and a scientist who's gone mad with being rejected from academia for researching creatures in the fourth dimension. Delightfully tense, it snaps along at an inexorable pace until we're left to doubt our senses. If you're looking for someone to help curate your reading experience, I purchased the December Nightworms, and I'm looking forward to digging into the anthology Not All Monsters, along with the other 2 books. I probably should have saved the Jingle Bones coffee for a reading session, but instead used it for work sessions to select the story lineup for 2021, which is coming together nicely. While Nightworms Cabin Fever is sold out for January, there's still time to get in for February's Love Games. And if you're feeling in the mood for some excellent science fiction, go grab a copy of Escape Pod's first anthology, available in all the usual places. I'm planning to try out bookshop.org, which seems to have a catalog as deep as the Evil Empire, but with the opportunity to profit share with brick-and-mortar bookstores. I've already been using Libro.fm for audiobooks, and it's got a similar business model. Would love to hear y'all's feedback if you have experience with it. As we bring the year to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on our excellent team and what's coming up. Starting in 2021, Escape Artists is paying their associate editors. We still haven't made it to the funding goal of where we want to be, but it's time we got started. We're happy to try out this experiment and see how to make this work, even if we're funding the program at a rate less than we would prefer. We'd love it if you subscribed, help us get it to the funding rate where we want it to be. Our 2020 associate editor team has included Carson Ash Beaker, Steph P. Bianchini, Shauna Borman, Tad Callan, Kat Day, Graham Dunlop, Jack Evans, Jamie Grimes, Adrian Howard, Austin Malone, T.M. Morgan, S.K. Nash, Christy Nogle, Kitty Sarkozy, M.M. Chill, Joshua Tuttle, Victoria Winnick, and Jessica Ann York. Extra special shout out to Associate Editor Scott Campbell, without whom I would be buried and still behind on updating the website. Then thanks go out to our Community Manager Brian Lieberman, and audio producers Chelsea Davis and Marty Perrett. Thank you to our host Alistair Stewart, and the rest of the senior editorial team, Assistant Editor Karen Bovemeyer, and my co-editor Sean Garrett. We're looking forward to sharing what 2021 has in store for us. Starting with next week, we will return to kick off our public domain showcase to consider a number of stories from 1925 that will enter the public domain within a year. The Ladies of Horror team has challenged everyone to make the first thing they read in 2021 something written by a woman with their Ladies First challenge. We're front-loading the first 3 episodes of the year with Ladies of Horror. The first is a masterpiece that has been rightfully protected by the estate, while the next 2 are erased or forgotten authors. We can't wait to share these with you. PseudoPod is a part of Escape Artists Incorporated. It is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. Theme music is by permission of Anders Mango. PseudoPod wants you to honor Halloween in your heart and try to keep it all the year. Merry Christmas, y'all.
It's a pseudopod. It's a big foot.
It's all about podcasts these days.